Welcome back everybody, this is Always back with another video on the channel. In this video I'm going to be teaching you how you can deploy your IONIC 5 application using Capacitor to Apple App Store. This is going to be a tutorial where we start from scratch. There is nothing pre-configured. I haven't even configured anything in the App Store Connect account. So we're going to start by setting up a new project. We're going to set up app in App Store Connect. We will set up identifiers, certificates, we will build application from Xcode, and also I'll show you how you can build from command line. I will show you how you can register your iPhone or iPad to your Apple developer account. We'll also learn how we can do a beta release to test flight so our tester can test the application. I'll also show you what are the things required for a production release, and most importantly I'll show you how you can automate build and deployment process using fastlane. I'm really excited to present you this tutorial, so without further ado, let's get started. We'll be using IONIC 5 project, which I just generated from IONIC CLI. It's a fresh project, nothing has been done on this. As you can see, it's just a template coming from IONIC 5. This is what we're going to be using to set up our app. Now, first thing, what you need to do is you need to go and log in with your Apple developer account. So I'm just going to log myself out. So as you can see, this is the website that you need to go to. And once you get to there, you need to type your email and then your password. So I'm going to be using keychain to sign me in. Once you get there, you have a few options now. So you got this My Apps, App Analytics, Sales Trends, Payments and Financial Report. So you will see these options if you're admin or if you've been assigned as a manager or admin. Now I'm an admin for this account, so I can pretty much see everything here. So what we are interested in is My Apps. So I'm going to click on My Apps. And here, as you can see, I have no app set up at all in my Apple developer account. I had this account for years, but I never got to set up any app because I didn't really deploy anything. So first of all, what we need to do is go to certificates and profile account. So if I go to click on this plus button here, so this is how you generate a new app. So I'm going to click on plus button, select new app. I'm going to say this is going to be available for iOS and also on a Mac OS. So I'm using Mac OS Big Sur. So when you update your Mac OS Big Sur and Xcode 12, by default all the application that you create will be available on a Mac OS as well. You need to make sure that you actually disable that if you don't want that to be available on Mac OS. So I'm going to set a name, so log my work. I might work on this application and actually deploy it because nowadays a lot of people working from home and this app probably will help them to actually log their work. So log my work, I'm going to use English Australia as the primary language, and then the build identifier. As you can see, there is no build ID. So this is what we need to set up. I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to go to developer.apple.com. I'm going to click on account. I'm already logged in, that's why I'm seeing this. So here you can see we got App Store Connect and we got this option certificate, identifier and profile. I click on this and here I can set up certificates, identifiers, devices, profiles, keys and more. I'm going to start by setting up identifier. This is a need for my app. So as you can see on this page, I'm unable to select any bundle ID. So what I need to do is set up this bundle here. So first of all, let's go and click on plus button. On this page, we see we have app ID options, other options available as well. We are interested in app ID. So it says register an app ID to enable your app extension or app clip to access available services. I'm going to click on continue, select the app because that's what we're creating. Click on continue and I'm going to type a description here. Log my work, and that should be good enough. For Apple bundle ID, which we required here to select, I'm going to use the reverse domain name style string, which is going to be com.io awasmirza.log my work. And then you can select some capabilities here. So what we need is something like push notification. But for now, let's not worry about that because that would require us to set up something in Xcode as well. But for now, let's just continue with creating this app ID. We can always come back here and add some capabilities. So that shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to click on continue and simply click on register. Once you register that, you will see a description here, log my work, and then you have this identifier as well. Click on that and you get back to this page and you can select the capabilities here if you want to. Let's go back to all identifiers. I'm going to go back to App Store Connect. I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to press Command R to refresh this page. Click on plus button, click on new app. I'm going to select iOS and macOS. I'll say log my work, English as a primary language, and now I can see this com.awasmirza.log my work bundle ID. I'm going to select that. SKU is basically a unique identifier. If I click on this question mark, you can see it tells me a unique ID for your app that is not visible in App Store. So for that, I'm going to simply com.awasmirza.log my work 01. Should be fine. I'm going to click on create. So as you can see, we have an application named log my work. App is available here now. We got features, we got test flight, we got activity, we got App Store Connect. Next thing what we need to do is set up the certificate and upload one build to log my work application. So for that, I'm going to go to IntelliJ, and here I'm going to stop this current server, and I'm going to use capacitor and generate an iOS project, and then I'll open that in Xcode and we take it from there. So there is a command IONIC cap add iOS. Now it says could not find the web. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to use IONIC build command first. Our project is built successfully and I should be able to see this www folder. So I'm going to type IONIC cap add iOS. It is going to install iOS dependencies, also create a project for us. Once we have that, I'll use one more command to open this project in Xcode. And then from there, we will learn how we set up a certificate for our application. Okay, so project has been created. You can see here it is telling me you can use this npx cap open iOS to launch Xcode. So we're not going to do that. So npx cap open iOS. It's going to open Xcode workspace using that folder, and there we go. Now what we need to do to be able to build this app is wait first for this Xcode to finish the indexing. Once done, then we're going to click on this app, and I'm going to set up the bundle identifier first. Now, as you can see here, it says bundle identifier is IONIC.starter, which is wrong because this is going to be a problem. Xcode would automatically look up my Apple developer account for bundle identifier and automatically launch a build for that particular application. So for now, what I would recommend you do is just go back to your application and then go to capacitor.config, and here change the Apple ID, not Apple ID, but app ID. So com.awasmirza.log my work, and app name, we change that to log my work. Okay, and I'm going to save this, and then here I will do IONIC cap sync iOS. And now when we go back to Xcode, this name should be changed. So we'll just wait for this to finish. Go to product and then click on build. And first time it says build failed. The reason for that is you need to set up signing and certificate. So here you get to the signing and certificate, and I'm going to select the team here. Okay, as you can see my name there, but the reason for that it is here is because if I go to Xcode, go to preferences, and here I've logged in with this account. So you need to make sure that you log in with your Apple ID account here, and it will automatically manage certificates. If you click on manage certificates, it will basically show you all the certificates, and you can click on this plus button and then say I'm gonna set up this Apple development certificate, and Xcode would automatically set up Apple developer certificate. It just generated a Wise MacBook 16 certificate for development. Click on done, and now I have a certificate set up properly. Then I will make sure that this option, automatically manage signing, is checked in. So once this is checked in, then I can click on register device. It will register my iPhone i7 to the Apple developer account as well. Now once this is all set up, you have two options that I want to show you: debug and release. You can actually set up a different signing capabilities to different these releases, but I'm going to just select all of them. If you have selected any kind of capability for your application, you need to make sure that you go to this button, click on that, and then for example for the push notification, you need to make sure that you add that capability into the project. That's when your project will probably run, your app will run properly. Okay, so once done, then I'm going to click on this build button from a product, and we just wait for this to complete the build. Now you will see a lot of warnings here. Don't worry about them because they're just capacitor and IONIC issues. They're not really issues, but some warnings from capacitor. We can't really work on them. They're just here. Here, first time when you are actually setting up your account, it will say CodeSign wants to access your Apple development. So basically it's going to set up the certificate in your Apple keychain. So I'm going to type my password there, and I'm going to say always allow. Once I do that, it will automatically set up the certificate, and it will do pretty much everything for me. Go to this and I click on generic iOS devices. Once I've done that, then I will click on this product button, and I'm going to click on archive. Here we got this window, and here I can click on distribute app. Here it's telling me the name, and then I click on distribute app. I'm going to select on App Store Connect, click on next, click on next. When you selected upload, and then it will analyze your signature. It will check that if this identifier is available in your App Store Connect account. So when I click on next, and it says automatically manage signing. You could do manually. If you select this one, you can set it up manually from using keychain, but I would highly recommend use automatically. You don't have to go through this mess. So click on next, and now it says locating and creating signing assets. All right, so one more thing, it says that no Apple distribution certificate found for Awais Jamil. So I'm going to take you back to this website certificate here. Let's click on certificates. Now you see this is Awais Jamil MacBook 16. This is a type of development, right? Now the reason why it is available here is because I generated it through Xcode. I can generate a certificate from click on plus button and say Apple development, Apple distribution certificate, or Apple app development. Okay, so there's a lot of certificates available here which I can generate manually. And then once you generate that, you will have to download that manually, as you can see here. So if I move to another Mac, I will have to click on this certificate and click on download, which will give me the certificate. Double click on that and we'll add that certificate to your Apple keychain application. Now I don't want to go through a manual part, so I'll just check this, click on next, and now it says generating certificate. Okay, so if I refresh now, you should be able to see another certificate. Now the type for this is distribution. It says Xcode has created a new Apple certificate, export signing certificate. And then I'm going to export that to, for example, in my documents. And I click on save. Here we have this file, which basically you could actually go to here, and then once I go here, you download this one. This is same file p.12. Click on next. I'm going to type the password. I'm going to say always allow. And then I'm going to click on upload. Now it's going to start uploading my application as a build 1. So let's just not worry about this one. Let it upload. What I would like to do is double click on this file. And now what I want to do is, it says, do you want to add this certificate from file to your keychain? iCloud, login, and system-wide. System is like any user will log in to this computer or this Mac will be able to use this certificate. Login is basically when you are logged in with the particular user, you will basically add this to a user account that you're logged in with. Okay, so because I use this myself, there's no other user for this Mac, so I can basically add this to system-wide. But for now, let's just leave that as login. Click on add, and then here you're gonna type the password which you actually typed when you were creating this. So I'm gonna type the password, click OK, and then on the login, I will have that certificate there. So here I've got the certificate now, which is Apple Development Certificate, as you can see in the keychain. And also I have this Apple Distribution Certificate in the keychain now. Now it says this certificate is valid, this certificate is valid. This one is not valid, so what I would like to do is right click, and I will just say delete Apple Development Certificates. I don't need that, so just delete that to keep my things clean in keychain. Now because I've added this certificate here, next time anytime I make an upload to my application or any other application, it's not just this one now, this certificate's not belonging to your application, it belongs to your account. So once you have set up your MacBook Pro or Mac computer with this certificate, you should be able to deploy any application sitting on your App Store Connect account. Okay, now that's basically uploading. We're gonna go to App Store Connect, and what we do is finish off our work which is required from your App Store Connect. Now in this page, you notice that here's a button, save and submit for review. You won't be able to submit for review unless you set this up properly. Here I have a description. I will just simply write some demo text for now, but once I'm actually working on this application and ready to deploy properly, I will use the proper description. So once this application is uploaded, I will let you guys know as well, and I will introduce you to this application later. It's going to be a simple one, but anyway. Demo description, demo promotional text. And then you have a keywords here. So click on this question mark, said include one or more keyword that describe your application. Keyword makes the App Store search result more accurate. And then here you need support URL. So every application that you create has to have some sort of support URL, which tells Apple that you are not a fake person, you're a valid person, and you are creating this application showing you who you are. So these two URLs are required. Let's go down, and here we see the build section. This is where you're going to see all the builds that you upload from Xcode. We have general information, we have a version which is 1.0, and then copyright. So I will just type Awais Mirza for a copyright for now. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to properly write here, but something like company copyright statement here. Next we got this routing app coverage. That's optional, don't worry about that. Game center, no, it's not gonna have a game center, so don't check this one. Next we have app reviewer information. This basically tells the reviewer that how to interact with your application. So for example, if your application require login, then you need to define that. So username and password, and then the notes for testers to test. This is the tester from Apple. And Apple testers usually tend to log into your application and have a look around before they can approve your application. So you gotta make sure that you have a valid username and password and exact points, or not points, but exact steps that you need to tell tester to how to interact with your application. You got some attachment, you can write some document, and tell the testers they can follow along with that document. Next, we have this version release. There's three options here: manual release this version, automatically release this version, and automatically release this version after app review no earlier than that. So you can specify the time. You can automatically release after it's approved, or you can manual that. I'm gonna just select the manual one. We have some advertising identifier. So my app at this point not going to use any kind of IDFA identifier, which is like an ID for, letting apps run ads. So let's not do that. And I'm going to save to the build section. Now I can see this plus button here because my build has been uploaded. Let's click on that. And here I can see build one, a version, and has app clip no. Now there's a few things that you need to do here. You need to go to actually your build. So let me just go to the test flight. Here we have a build which is missing compliance. I'm going to click on manage and I'm going to say no and then say start internal testing. Now at this stage, this app is available to internal testers. We'll talk about that in a second, but for now we go back to App Store, and now I can go and select this build for production release. So select this, click on done, and you can save here. Now there's other information that you need to fill in. For example, in app previews and screenshots, it says drag up to 3 app previews and 10 screenshots here. We all use this for all iPhone and displays. So the best way to take the screenshot is by actually running your application. So let me show you a couple of things here that will help you to, fast track this process. So I'm going to run this app in iPhone 8. The easiest way to capture those images is by running the application in an emulator and just simply clicking on this button. It's like save screenshot. So go to different parts of your application and take screenshots, and those images are automatically resized properly. And here you need a specific sizes, which you can just take a screenshot and those images will be accepted here. So you're gonna have to open up with the iPhone 11. You need some screenshots for 5.5 display, iPad Pro 2nd gen. So you need to get all these images and simply click on choose file and then select those files, and then they will be uploaded. So that's the must thing to do. Once you've done all that, then you simply go to pricing and availability. Here I'm going to make it free, and then I'll just click on this edit button, which will give me all the countries. I can enable a specific countries that I want to make this application available, or I can just say all countries and regions. Then we are going to select distribution for business and education. So the first option is the one that I'm going to select, which says available on my App Store for volume purchase on Apple Business Manager and for volume purchasing at the reduced price at Edward Schools. So this one is basically the 3 options. You can read about it and then make a decision on that. For me, the first one is fine. There's another options recently was introduced in App Store Connect, which says iOS apps on Mac. So you can make this app available on a Mac as well. So that will basically be available from Mac App Store. Next, we have a rating and reviews. I'm just going to click cancel and click on save. Let's click on rating and reviews. On this page, it will basically show you all the ratings and reviews for this app. Click on version history. There's only version 1 which we deployed, so it's just version 1.0 there. We can add in-app purchases. You will have some sort of options here if you want to make sure that in-app purchases are enabled. So this is part of like a coding as well, how you integrate in-app purchases in your application. But for now, all of the stuff except this bit is ready, and then we can submit this for review. Now, Apple takes about a couple of days to actually review your application. You're gonna have to make sure you're given proper, information in this section, so app reviewer can review properly. And then if everything is all good, then you can basically, there will be a submit button available, and you can tap on that, and then that will make the app available on an iPhone, on Mac app stores. Apart from this, I wanted to show you some of the features of TestFlight. So I'm going to click on TestFlight, and here we can see the build 1.0 is available here. We have an internal group, so App Store Connect user, and I can click on this add tester, and here I'm the only one because I'm the account holder, right? I can add people to my account. So what we need to do is click on this user and access. Here I can click on this plus button, and I can add a specific user to the account, and I can specify the role as well. So that would be a developer or app manager or access to repos. So you can select all the options, the one you want to assign to the user. And to be able to get him on this application, I would just simply give them developer, and then they can actually access to the app. You can click on these apps and then select what are the apps that you want to, give access to this particular person. Bear in mind that you need to have an iCloud account. Normal email, if you're trying to get somebody which are not iCloud email, then they will get an invite and they will have to sign up as a developer account with the specific email that you're inviting to, and then they will be able to use this application. Once you have that, then one thing to notice that they won't have to go through this review process. Once you have an internal testing start, so here in TestFlight, anybody you add to your account, they will basically be able to start testing this application straight away. But also, you might want to have some external people to test your application, and you don't want to add to users and access, right? The way you do that is by clicking on this plus button, and I'm going to say so we'll just say testers, okay? Or I'm just going to say external testers. I'm going to create a group. And now here I can add testers. So here I can import text from CSV. You can download the template if you want to, and then just fill in the details, and they will be invited as the testers. You can click on this plus button and click on add new tester. So basically here, type the email, first name and last name, and they will receive an email from you, and they will follow the instruction in the email to be able to start testing this application. Now there's a limit for that. There's a 10,000 available, so you can add like up to 10,000 people. Also, there's another option that I want to show you here is test management public link. So if you are going to make this available for public, anybody with that link can start testing your application, then you can enable that as well. Right now, there is no build available. That's why it's just not available. So I'm going to click on add build, and I'm going to select this build and click on next. And then you will give some information, contact, phone number, and that requires sign. So to be able to allow other external testers to start testing your application, you have to go to the review process for the first time, which will take about a couple of days. Once you've done that, then the concurrent builds will take less time, and they will be able to enable the external testers very easily, maybe in like 15 minutes. All right, so that's how you test your application and invite tester using TestFlight. It's pretty good that you have this kind of feature in Apple. That's very easy. Once you have done the initial part, then it's easier. Now we got some test information. So what you need to do is just define some release notes that according to your build, and then here's some feedback email, marketing email, privacy policy email, and then some details and review notes that you want to give it to testers. And then the license agreement is required as well. You need to tell the testers how you track users' data, how users store the data, and license agreement. You need to go and search online and find out some sort of license agreement sample, and you'll know what to do. Okay, in activity section, you will see all the uploaded builds. So right now we got build 1.0. And then once I make another build from Xcode, then you will see once upload is done, it will start processing it, and that will be available here. So we pretty much covered everything that I need to let you guys know about how to create a production build and how to add testers to your TestFlight, and they can start testing. Next up, what we need to do is we need to automate this process. It's not really hard, but it's really useful. So basically, I create a new build. I will go and open the project in Xcode, click on a bunch of the, buttons and then upload that. I don't want to do those things. I want to automate everything. I just want to be in my IDE and just trigger one script that should basically upload my build, create build, and then upload that to the test flight as well. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to start looking at how do we automate the process that we followed using Xcode. It took a lot of clicks and I want to automate every single thing of that process. So I'm going to be showing you how you can use Fastlane to automate the whole build process. First of all, what you need to do is go to this Fastlane tools. This is a website that you're going to get to, and then click on docs. So once you get to docs, then you're going to go down, and here there are a couple of scripts that you can use to install Fastlane. I'm going to be using Brew install Fastlane. I'm pretty sure if you're a developer, you are familiar with Homebrew, which is like a package manager for macOS and Linux. If you haven't installed that, make sure you install this. You're missing out a lot of things if you don't have Homebrew. You can install a lot of cool packages by using some Brew scripts, and they're really great. I'm going to go and copy Brew install Fastlane, but I'm pretty sure that I've already installed Fastlane. So I'm going to just check Fastlane -- version, and I do have a Fastlane installed, so that is good. I don't have to do much now. So once I have the Fastlane installed, I'm gonna go to IntelliJ, and here I am in the folder. I'm gonna go to iOS folder. So let's just do cd iOS and then go inside app folder. Okay, now in the app folder, I'm going to use this command, fastlane init. We go there and then just do fastlane init. Now it's going to create a couple of files for me, and it's going to initialize this iOS project using Fastlane. Let's wait for this to finish. Okay, now it's asking me a couple of questions. First thing, automate screenshots, automate beta distribute to test flight, automate app store distribution, manual setup your project, and automate your task. So what I would like to do is just use second option. Okay. And I would like to, do a beta distribution to test flight. So I'm just going to press enter. Now it's doing its thing. It's going to set this up and configure the Fastlane. Now it's asking me what is my Apple ID. So I'm going to use my Apple ID there and then the password for that. All right. So it's going to ask me this, allow this 6 digits. So it's like a normal, login process through terminal. And it's saying requesting session, so that's fine. I'm going to click on done, so just to get rid of that. It says continue by pressing enter, that's fine. Press enter again, press enter, and there you go. So you have a Fastlane setup. Now I'm going to go to app folder, and I'm going to show you there's a folder created Fastlane. Within Fastlane folder, we have a file called fastfile. I'm going to double click on that, and here is our script to do the beta release. So you can see it says platform iOS do, and this is a description. So it says push a new beta build to test flight, and that's where our script starts. So this is the name of that. Beta is the name, and what it's going to do is it's going to build an app, and it's going to upload that to test flight. I'm going to trigger that build. Right now I'm in the app folder, so you're going to make sure you have to be in the app folder to trigger it. So what I'll do is Fastlane and the name of the script, which is beta in this case. I'm going to press return, and it's going to start, its process to start creating a build, and then it's going to try deploy it. There's going to be an error, which I already know, and I'm doing this, on purpose just to show you guys how to fix that. So what you need to do is you need to generate app specific password. The way you generate that is by going to appleid.apple.com, and there you need to generate app specific password, because once you set up Fastlane, you had to use your normal account password for Apple developer account, but now because you're deploying that to Tesla, you need app specific password. So once that option comes up, I'll show you how you can generate that. There's going to be one problem. Let me take you back to App Store Connect, and here we can see we have a build 1. Now, Apple requires you to increment your build all the time. If you have a build 1, you cannot upload build 1 again. You need to increment that to build 2, 3, 4. So it's going to throw that error as well. So it says login successfully, login to App Store Connect, and then it's going to upload. Now again, it says there's a account has two-step verification enabled, and that's the reason why it's asking for application specific password. So what we need to do is go to Safari browser and type appleid.apple.com. Go to this website, and then I'm going to click on login. I've already logged in, but I'm just going to use this fingerprint sensor on the Mac to be able to log in. Go and generate password. So it says app specific password. Click on generate, and I'm going to just say fastlane pass. I'm going to delete that. Don't try to use this again because it can be deleted. So I'm just going to use fastlane for now. Let's click on create, and that's the password I need. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go to terminal. I'm going to paste it here and press return. Now the password has been generated. It will be stored within the Fastlane configuration, so you don't have to give the password again and again, but there's going to be another error. Okay, so error uploading IPA. For more information, see above. So what's happening here is it says you have already uploaded a build with number 1 and version 1.0. Make sure you increment the build string before you upload to App Store Connect. So you see, that's the error that I was talking about. How you fix this manually, and then we'll automate this process as well. So in your iOS project, you will go to app, and then app, go to info.plist, and here you're gonna find this string. So cf build short version string, which is version 1.0, and that's fine, but we're interested in cf build version. So I'm gonna increment this to 2. And that's the version that we need to increment, which is like a build number. So just to verify that, I'm actually going to use one script. So npx cap open iOS. And once, okay, IONIC cap open iOS. And now if I go to general, you will see the build is being incremented. I did it using file. I didn't do it here. So if I just change this to number 3 and save this bit, and then we go back to info.plist file, and you will notice that the build number is like current project version. That's been updated. But I'm gonna go and change this to, let's just say 5. Let's save the file, and let's open up this, and then you see the change is reflecting here. So let's close Xcode. We don't need that. I'm just gonna, here's the build number, so I'm gonna just increment to 2. Now once I do that, this will upload that to test flight. So now let's do Fastlane beta. Okay. Now this time it's going to do everything automatically. It's going to actually upload that. But how do you increment this automatically? How do you just not worry about doing it manually? I'm going to take you to the website, and here I'm going to close this bit, and let's take you to the documentation for Fastlane. All the way down here, there is a section. So here's your main beta deployment, and here all the way down, you have an option to say increment the build number, and then this one will basically be able to help you to increment the build number. So I would just copy this line and then go into fast file, and we're gonna paste that there. So fast file, and I'm just going to paste that here. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna read the build number, whatever is there, and it's just going to increment that. And I'm gonna change this name to app. All right, at this stage, our build is done automatically. Here's the current state of our build process. So here we went all the way to, this message saying waiting for App Store Connect to finish processing. So let's verify that. I'm going to go to App Store Connect, and I'm going to go to Activity. Now in Activity, I should be able to see build number 2, and it says processing. Now when the processing is done, it is actually going to automatically, let us know in our command line. So we don't really have to go and check in the website that it was actually processed or not. Now, anytime I want to make a build, all I have to do is just go into the app folder and trigger this beta. I would highly recommend to go through the documentation for Fastlane. There's a lot of cool options there. For example, if you want to, see what are the other options available for test flight, for example, it says upload to test flight, skip waiting for build processing true. If I would have, enabled this one, I wouldn't be able to see these messages, so I can actually turn this off as well. There's a lot of other options as well. For example, if you use Hokia, which is App Center now, you can trigger those builds as well. Now, release notes are pretty important because every time you make a release, you need to tell testers what to test, and it actually can take your release notes automatically from your Git commits. So here's a change log from Git. It's actually going to pull all the commits from the previous tag, and then it's going to upload those as well. So here you can specify the change log from Git commits as well. So it's pretty cool. For me to go through every single option is not worth it, because you can read these, and once you get to this stage, right, you read about what's available to you, like we did with the increment the build number. It's a lot of things that you can go through. Also in Fastlane, I would like to point out that you have an option for available plugins. There's a whole bunch of plugins available. You can see the list goes on and on. There's a lot of plugins here that can help you to, to automate your process. I won't go too much, but one thing I would like to point out is this one, App Center. App Center is like really famous for managing your build for Android and iOS, so you can invite testers there, and there's a plugin for that. If you want to upload your build, Android build or iOS build to App Center, you can automate that as well. That's pretty cool. Also, you got versioning, and another one that I like here is something increment version code. So it's basically increment the version code as well on every single build. You can provide some actions. So if you want to do like a major, minor, or whatever the increment version code, that's pretty cool. Changelog automate changes to your project, and then it actually updates the changelog.md file, whatever has changed according to Git commits once you make a build. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, so I would highly recommend go through this documentation, and you will be having so much fun around here. So that's where we end our deployment process, and it's been almost 40 to 50 minutes video, and there you go. You got the last message saying platform 0 build app 64 upload test file 869 in seconds, and we're going to take a look at App Store Connect, and I'm going to just refresh this page, and we'll notice that the build 2 has been processed. There you go. That's all been automated. You don't have to open Xcode. So I hope you liked the video, and if you did, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up. Advertise some of your product in my videos, please contact me on this email. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers.